Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to yet another episode of Project Vegas. So, if you saw the last episode, you may be able to identify where I am right now. I'm actually standing on top of the building that we started to build in the last episode. And if you were a quite keen observer, you might have noticed that, well, I didn't finish the building, that was no secret, but I actually forgot to put on a roof. So I did that and figured maybe we should start on the roof. So let's just quickly grab my gear here and let's have a look. So as per usual, I have not furnished the interior at all. But I do like to jump up here and look down. As you can see, there are the two other buildings we have, and I'm quite looking forward to building something here to kind of have like a cozy place. I don't know. I'm not really picturing like it's to be like a roof garden, but maybe there could be a bit of furniture now for the inhabitants to hang out or something. Let's see where that goes. Anyways, that was not really the point. It's just I like that to kind of build like a secret world or something different all the way up here. Maybe even put in a ladder that goes up here to connect these rooftops. Who knows? Anyways, in here, as you can see, I didn't really do much. I basically just separated the whole stairwell thing and then made room for, yeah, well, the rooms or the apartments. So they're going to be an apartment here, and as you all could probably see, also an apartment here. And then, as I think I already showed you in the previous episode, here there's going to be a store of some sort. And as you can see, I did a bit of the decoration already. I put in the floor, put in some. I rarely play with these glazed terracotta, so I figured what better place to do that than in some kind of store. So I made this corner here where I lined these up, and I think these are annoying to build with because you kind of need to, well, once you realize the pattern at least, but you kind of need to place them in a certain direction to get the pattern facing in the right direction. And as I may have mentioned last episode as well, I actually asked Tinis if she wanted to furnish this one here. And, well, she didn't say no, but she actually wanted to furnish this one here. As you can see, she hasn't done that yet. But I know she's kind of planning to make it into a hair salon of some sort. So I'm quite interested to see what she comes up with. And remember the infamous door? So I got a few ideas of what to do with it. And I decided not to follow any of the ideas because randomly an idea came to my brain. And so it isn't done yet, but I actually did start something in here. So let's go have a look. I figured why not have some kind of bar, like these Stella bars here. So this is in no way done. There's still some detailing missing, and I will get back to what other plans I have for this place. But I figured, there should be some kind of dartboard here, and of course it isn't hooked up to this lamp here, so whenever you hit it, it lights up. Just a bit gimmicky, I guess. And again, lamps all over the place. I don't want stuff to spawn, but they will, of course, eventually be removed and replaced with something else. Also, put up some random of these trapdoors here just to, make the place a bit, I wouldn't say shoddy, but, kind of to make it look like like a makeshift board here and there to kind of, fix the ceiling. That's also why I didn't want to have the ceiling in the same pattern all over the place. And then there's this pool board here. And it's nothing fancy, I guess. Basically, down here, it's just two signs in different colors, and then I just put, pool on top of it. So, and of course, then there are the lights. And I think they make excellent bottles. Kind of ripping a bit off from Tinis's shampoo bottle idea, but it also works great for beer bottles. And whatever these blue ones are, I figured, I've seen fancy liquor being blue, so why not have that here? And then back here, I decided to have a bit of a different floor, for the staff to stand on. So kind of trying to use a bit more trapdoors and stuff because they do have unique textures compared to a lot of the blocks. So it's a nice way, but as you can see, there's absolutely nothing below here. Of course, we could hide secret stuff down there at some point. And I kind of like this whole rustic, is that a word? I think it is. This rustic look of having the bar itself made from bricks. And again, it's a block I don't really like, but I think in this case it fits quite nicely. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to have something on top here. Maybe I'll add some shelves or something. I'm not really sure. It feels a bit too open maybe, but we'll see where it goes. But one thing that I'm missing, because of the idea was to have like this cellar bar here. But if you remember back when we started this whole Project Vegas, one of my goals was to have at least one, but quite likely I want more than that, but at least one mini game that could be played with friends. So I don't know if you guys know about playing poker. I've seen the Hermit Crafters do it a few times. Okay, let's how to explain this. So basically,
2 hours later.
so if I'm not gonna put it here, then maybe I would need to have some kind of back room, the illegal backroom gambling maybe. So that means maybe I would put in like a room here, or maybe even make the entrance over here, because you need special access to go into the back room. Yeah, so yeah, that was probably quite a long explanation for that, but I would love to start looking into that. So there are a few things that needs to be done in this episode, and this is definitely one of them. I am not planning to add more buildings in this episode. I think we've done enough of that for the last few episodes. I'm not saying we're done. There will definitely be more buildings here, but I will end up getting crazy from just coming up with new buildings all the time. So I think for this episode, I will focus a bit on the thing down there, and then I'll see how far I've come. So I will start doing that a bit, and maybe I'm not sure I will be done in this episode. We'll see, but I'll definitely show my progress. There are also another thing that needs to be done this episode, but not something I can do right now, because there is a, well, not maybe not new member of the server, but a member of the server that came back, and he asked me for help. Let me just quickly sleep. He asked me for help to remove a mountain, and I said yes. I honestly don't know how big that mountain is. I'm hoping it's more one of those, you know, hills. But seeing as I am the only one with a beacon. So we have my spare beacon over here somewhere. Where did I put it? Yeah, over here. Yeah, so basically I still need to remove this mountain here as well at some point, or at least this part of it. But there's so many other things that has also been put on hold for a short while. So I will pick this up and move it over, and then we will start helping him removing the mountain. So this is his base, and I have not seen this before. Well, I see part of it, but it's definitely grown. Before, this portal here was basically just up on some grass, and he definitely made the base bigger. There's not a lot of decoration inside here, but there's plenty of room, it seems. I'm pretty sure we're underground. And, well, I kind of know that because I helped... Oh, the chicken's here. I helped build, like, the water elevator to get out of here, which is here, I guess. This must be the center of the base. I'm not really sure if it's day or night, but I can hear skeletons up there, and I'm always slightly more careful when I'm near other people's stuff. I'm not gonna go down there. I think it's a dead end anyways. I need to find out what the mountain is all about and where I can put my beacon. Let's jump up and see. It's definitely nighttime. Okay, so this looks interesting. Nice combination of colors. Quite big. Oh yeah, but let's just quickly fly, because I actually helped him find this place here, and it's quite nice. It's like this small green area just surrounded by snow. And looks like he's utilizing that quite well. Quite nice. Quite a big area. It's gonna be great. So I assume I will just quickly have to check with him, but he's not online right now, so I'll have to check with him in the real world. But I assume that this is the mountain that will have to be removed. So I figure this is not a big deal. I've removed way bigger than this. So this is, with a beacon and some decent tools, this is just a small hill. So I think I'll pop down my beacon around here. And then I'll just get to work and see if I can get it done before he manages to get online. And done. That went... Well, I was expecting it to not take too much time, but that went extremely fast. And I kind of like the detail that he actually built the wall through the mountain that was there before, which actually make it quite easy for me to see where I should cut and where I shouldn't. So basically I flattened it out on the entirety of this side. And let's hope there's no creepers out here. I already blew up one. And I also flattened it here. And additionally, I actually decided just to put down some dirt and grass because, well, there was plenty of it and it just looked weird. And when we look around here, everything is like grass. Although it's snowy there. There's even a crafting table there and there. Okay, but it's all grassy out here, so I figured that might be what he was going for as well. So I just planted a bit of grass here as well. It's an interesting style he has for the wall here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it done. It's quite nice. I like how this basically moves out a block here. So yeah, let's see how that goes. We put that. Oh, I hit it. Oh, and Tini is coming online now. Oh, that is interesting. Anyways, let's get back to Project Vegas again. I will have a stab at the redstone for the, I guess we'll call it poker game for now. And then I'll show you how far I've gotten with that. So we are back here, and boy, has a lot happened. Well, for you in the last 5 seconds, but it's been a couple of days. So Tini's did the barber shop. And it looks just amazing. Oh, actually, yeah, it's a hairdresser, I guess. And it looks amazing. So the decorations are just great. So you can basically, you go here, sit down in this chair, the mirror is here, and someone will cut your hair. And we have different hair products and stuff sitting around on the shelves here. Just thinks the whole color combo. She really managed to, these yellow blocks that I hate. He really managed to make them fit in nicely. And I guess even these glowing item frames here, they fit very well in here as well. It just looks really, really awesome. And here, you can get your hair washed. Just lie down and they will wash your hair, and you can go get a haircut or however that works. I'm not really one that goes to hairstylists. Maybe mainly because I don't have hair. But anyways, I think this looks really good. And also up here, I caught Tini starting to work a bit here, and actually ended up with us doing this together almost without communicating. It was quite fun actually, because we're not sitting in the same room, so I just discovered her in here starting to decorate, and then we basically just managed to do this whole thing almost without communicating, just by making gesticulations in game. Living room, basically just basic stuff, but I still think it looks quite good. And also we struggled a bit getting the staircase here to fit properly, but I think this is okay. It's okay. It's a tight squeeze in these, olden buildings, or what it is supposed to be. In here, there's a bit more floor space here, but basically again just a small kitchen. And as you can see, we used copper one of the rare cases where we actually used copper, and it seems to have oxidized quite nicely. So let's leave it at that. It kind of goes with the color for this up here, I guess. And again, small bathroom out here, and this is actually where we started experimenting using this dark prismarine, because actually it's a nice color for for a certain style of bathrooms, I guess. So we put a bit of that in here as well. So yeah, so basically this building is done. The only thing missing is the ceiling. And let's just quickly go up there, because that is basically a thing that is missing across the board, I guess. So for this tall building, I already added the staircase so we can get up here. And as you can see, we'll have a look in a moment. Tinny's also decorated in here, and I haven't seen that yet, so I'm looking quite forward to see what you've done with the place. But these roofs, I think in the next episode, I will try to do something with those. Let's see what we can come up with. But anyways, I'm quite excited to go here and see what Tinny's has done down here. Okay, so here we have the kitchen. Oh, that's like, what do you call these? A hood. Yeah, that's quite nice. We actually can get the smoke out of the building. Oh, yeah. And I've seen her do this before, make thin walls to save space. So basically here's the bathroom. Toilet cleaner, toilet paper. Drop your nuggets there. Think. And a good view of the park, I guess. Anyways, let's see if there's more. So this was, we came from the top, so now we're going downwards. So then we have another one here. Yeah, quite similar design. I think it's fair. Bit of bookshelves here. And a hood again with some shelving up there again. Looks quite good. What is it? Oh, and a bathroom again. Yeah, okay, so she did that with a glass pane. I would probably do that with a block instead. I might replace that with a block at some point. It looks good, but it's just the Minecraft thing, right? So the thing down here that there's open here, I personally don't like that. But apart from that, a nice idea. I've seen buildings before where there are, like, especially for some reason for the bathroom, so there's like a window on top. Don't know why. Why would you want that? But it looks good, I guess. Maybe that's why. So I really, really like that we are not falling behind on making the interior nice of these houses here. So the shop here has not been made, and so after Tinny's made the hairdresser or the barber shop, I kind of decided that I wanted to do this, so Tinny's don't have to do all of it, because she already did quite a lot. Although we did the two apartments up here, together, the ones up here she did by herself. So I guess in the next episode I might actually be doing this one in here together with the stuff on the roof. It would be nice to get that done. So the last building over here we haven't done anything with yet. I guess I will also be doing that. Probably not the next episode, but because these interiors do take some time, I guess. But I kind of see this as the more old and shoddy building, so I could imagine that one or two of these apartments will be really, old, broken, maybe even abandoned. But abandoned doesn't mean that I'll just make an empty room, because that's just annoying. And well, a cheap way of getting away with doing decorations. So I guess the challenge is then to make it look abandoned without just being an empty apartment. So just before we went here, I talked about the poker game. And of course, we will have a look at that as well. So the bar here you saw a bit earlier. And now I added a bit more detail to it. I've realized that using this Glowlichen or Lichen, I have no idea how to pronounce that, looks really good as vomit. And I wanted this bar here to be, like one of these cheap bars, that maybe might not be that hygienic. So I also decided to make a toilet, and this is me trying to be funny, This is the signs for the toilet. You go drop your nuggets, or you go drop your, water, I guess. So out here is the bathroom. And boy, is that messed up. Someone puked all over the place and left some beer bottles out here. And Yes, the toilet paper is kind of nasty as well. So yeah, this is the bathroom. Again, I use these dark prismarine. I think it's hard to find a good use for these, but bathrooms, I think they do great, especially because together with the kelp here as both the as the flooring here, it just gives this nasty. I think this is nasty, and then adding the puke and vomit all over the place. So I guess it's fairly simple, but I really like it here. I think this came out really, really well. Really, really nasty, nasty, nasty bathroom out there. Yeah, so I didn't really add much more detail here. I exchanged a few of these blocks behind here with some crafting tables, mainly because I needed crafting tables, and also I guess sometimes these bars have the craziest decorations, so I figured crafting table was probably not too far-fetched from that. And we got an extra bar here again with a bit of booze here on the or beer and the table and a few more tools. And then the poker game. So we can go and have a look at the redstone, and I will also leave a link to the video that I used because I used a guide for this, and for the life of me I can't remember the name of the guy that did it, but I'll try to remember and put his name on top here, but otherwise you'll realize it from the link that I'll include in the description as well, because basically it's the same game as the Hermit Crafters played, the stats poker, and this guy, sorry I don't know his name, he managed to replicate that fairly well. So basically the idea is you can play up to 4 players. This is a table, right? So each decide on which corner is theirs, where you can basically put in your wagers. You would probably do that with diamonds normally, right? And then whenever you want to play a new game or a new round, you click this button. That'll be a ton of noise. And then in here, we have the stat that we want to look at. So in this case, it says shulker kills. Then I can go into my stats. I can go into mobs. I scroll down to shulkers. And you can see that I killed 314 shulkers. So I'm playing with other people, assume that. And then it's basically about, so who has the highest value? And you bet if you're quite certain that, you know, you have a high amount compared to the others. And when everyone is done betting, you compare numbers and, well, the winner takes it all. So I know there's also a version of this game. I think the Hermitcraft upgraded like that as well. I'm not sure. But there's basically an extra lamp that randomly lights up. And when that lamp is lit, that means that it's not about having the highest number. It's about having the lowest number. I did not do that. I kind of like to have a bit more control of the game sometimes, I think. So I had this idea that just as in poker, right? There's a different dealer every time. So if you start including stuff like small blind, big blind, but you're not really dealing here, I figured that it would be nice to have an advantage for having to pay for the big blind of each round. And that advantage could be that before that you pull the card out, you decide whether you're going higher or lower. So, and you have to do that, I guess, before the card is being pulled, because otherwise the advantage would just be too big. And when you're done with a round, you throw in the paper here, if you could figure out to do it the right way, and it goes back down into the system. And then we can click here, and we get a new one. And this time it's pig kills. So, they are for all the mob kill stats, and that's for all the other stats, like how much you've flown and jumped and all that. Yeah, I'll get back to that because there is a slight problem with this game right now, but I'll get back to that. First off, I'd like to explain the number here, because notice that I put a number in front of the name here as well. If you just discard this one here real quick. So the idea is that I like to be able to play as many games as possible. And as we said in the beginning of this whole series here, we wanted to make at least one mini game. And doing it like this, I kind of put 2 mini games into one, because we can also use this to play a bit more simple game of higher or lower, or maybe who's closest to the number or something like that. So if you're 4 players, you know, nothing in here right now, and then you basically gamble. It's pure gambling, right? You say, I guess that the number will be 72. And then I bet something about that. And some other guy might bet a bit up here and someone bet up here. So I guess what's weird about this is that you're purely gambling. So I guess you kind of need to agree on how much you're betting, because it makes no sense that I'm betting more than the rest, I guess, because there's no predisposition. We have no knowledge about what's going on, because once our bets are set in, we click the button, we look at the card, and the number was 76. I cannot even remember what I guessed, but wasn't that in the 70 range? I don't know. Anyways, so I guess the person who's closest to this number takes the pot, and we can have another round. It's just important that we remember to put these cards in here, because right now there's 127 different cards in this game, which also means that right now the numbers will always be between 1 and 127, which I guess is something people should know before starting the game. But that took a long time to put those in. And that kind of leads me slightly to the problem with this game, because, so this is all the redstone. I will not go too much into detail about explaining it. Again, I'll link to the video that shows how to do this really, really well. I found it extremely simple to follow. As I'm about to show you, I do have one bug in this, and I haven't really checked out if it's because there's a flaw in this design here, if I did something wrong, or however that goes. But basically, whenever we hit the button, we can actually do it here, because, let me see, where is it? Over here. Because this button here does exactly the same. This thing basically just goes up to the button up top. So when I click here, you can see over there that all the redstone is flashing, basically meaning that all these observers here are operating and something is being pushed in here. And inside each of these observers, I said, sorry, I meant droppers. And each of these droppers have a card, and they have been randomized. Again, if you want to see how you do that, do watch the video that shows how to do it. It's quite simple, actually, to do the randomization. And these are just being flown around randomly. And whenever we click the button, it takes a card from here and pushes it up through the system. But right now my problem is, once this specific dropper here is empty, I need to go down here, do the randomization part again, and make sure this one is being filled up again before I can pull out more numbers. So right now my assumption is that it's potentially because I don't have enough cards in here yet to keep everything filled. I'm not really sure, because I think there's 127 cards, and here there are 20 droppers, which means that there's room for 180 cards plus whatever goes over here. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Oh, as a side note, this is where all the cards get back into the system. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what is going on. If it's just because that there's still too, in the lack of a better word, too much air in the system that makes it so that at some point we kind of get behind filling this one up. So I would need to play around with that a bit more. And I could also add more statistics in here. As I said, I have all the general statistics and all the kill statistics. So I could also add the kill by statistics. Yes, that also adds another nuance to the game. If you're sucking stuff and being killed a lot, well, then there's also categories that will cater to you. And also there's a lot of stats for the different blocks that I could put in. Maybe I'll do that for the more interesting blocks then, because there are definitely more statistics that can be used than what is room for in the entire system. See, this one again is interesting. How many raids have you won? Again, you can go and check. I know for a fact that I've won 0 raids, at least on this server here. And I triggered quite a few, because whenever I enter my base with this Dark Omen buff, it triggers a raid, but it can't spawn, so nothing happens. Anyways, I guess that was enough of me ranting about this, but I find this game extremely cool, and I'm quite satisfied and slightly surprised how easy it was to get our first minigame into Project Vegas. But now I need to invite someone into play. I know there's a few people on the server. Tina said she wanted to play with me. It would be fun if we could have like a full 4-man game. Maybe I'll record it, maybe I won't, we'll have to see. But for now, that was it for the poker game. I guess that was it for this episode. So boy, did we get a lot done this week. And I'm so happy about it. We got new active players on the server. We got to help them out a bit. we got our poker game done. Like, one of our goals has basically been fulfilled to create at least one minigame. That's not gonna mean that we won't be doing more minigames. Definitely not. I love making minigames, and I do hope we get the chance to maybe record a session of us playing the game. But let's see what happens. Also, I know I kind of said last episode that the episodes from now on will be shorter, but we just managed to do so much, and there's so much to show this time. And we didn't really spend, well, we maybe spent a bit more time than I anticipated this week, but nothing crazy. Anyways, enough of me ranting. If you're new here, don't forget to smack the subscribe button down there or wherever it is and hit the bell as well. If you like what we're doing here, pop the like button one, and if you don't like it, well, feel free to kick the dislike button as well. But at least leave a comment telling me what I could do, what I did wrong, or what I could do better. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me in the next video. Bye!